Welcome back. The Grand Haven Momentum Center is hosting a town hall Monday to tell the community all about its Friendship Bench pilot. We've got Kate Maver, the coordinator of this new project, live with us in studio this morning. Thanks so much for being here, Kate.
Delighted to be here with you, Emily.
Really glad to have you. And I love the idea of this new project, which the idea for this friendship project came after your director took a trip to Zimbabwe. Tell us about that.
Correct. Barbara went to Zimbabwe last year, and she learned all about this Friendship Bench project from a psychiatrist by the name of Dixon Chibanda. And Dixon started this program when he realized there was not enough access for the people of Zimbabwe to meet with a therapist or a counselor, and there was just not enough emotional support for the people of Zimbabwe. I believe they had 6 psychiatrists for the entire country.
Wow.
And a similar low number of other mental health assistants for other people. So in Zimbabwe, they have a great deal of respect for their elders. And there was a group of grandmothers who were also concerned about the people in their towns, cities, and villages needing some support, just somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
And so they got together with Dixon and they really focused and honed their skills in listening and in figuring out how to refer somebody who really needed some professional assistance, and also just in some simple problem-solving techniques. And that's how the Friendship Bench program was started.
That is really fantastic. I love that there was a professional sort of backing up, you know, the expertise of making something like this happen. But I also love that this started in Zimbabwe, somewhere so far away many of us have never been to, maybe never will be, and yet something we can all relate to no matter where you are in the world, maybe, right? Of just needing someone to talk to, listen to you. And so you all are now bringing this idea to Grand Haven. What will it look like for that area?
Well, it won't be necessarily sitting on a bench outside like you can do in Zimbabwe, where the weather is pretty good all year
round.
So the bench part of this is more or less a concept.
Yes.
And you are right, it is all over the world at this point. We are in a handful of new Friendship Bench projects here in the United States.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we will be meeting people in libraries, in coffee shops, possibly in grocery stores, in areas where they might have community meals. And the bench sitters, we're calling them bench buddies, will have some sort of designation to indicate that they are there to listen to folks.
There'll be some way for you to know this is who
it's
will
not
listen
just
to
some average Joe sitting at a table somewhere. We're going to have things identified.
And even with that, not just being some average Joe, these listeners have been trained.
Very carefully trained. It's a very long, involved training process, but you get so much out of the training process. We're starting our first training process in March on the 3rd, on Tuesday the 3rd, and it will run throughout the month, every Tuesday and Thursday through the whole month, 27 hours.
Wow.
But once you're through that 27 hours, you will have skills that will be valuable for the rest of your life.
Well, that's an aspect I didn't think about, Kate. So are you all still looking for volunteers?
Sure
you can sign up for that training that's starting in a couple of weeks.
Indeed, yes. Right. 2 weeks from today.
Well, that is fantastic.
No, 2 weeks from yesterday. I'm sorry.
Close enough, close enough. Okay, so you all have a town hall happening Monday, and that's so that people know, hey, this is happening. You can either volunteer to be that bench buddy, or maybe you're wanting to use these services. How's that town hall happening, and how can people show up?
The town hall is, you're right, occurring on Monday, this coming Monday at 6 p.m. at the Grand Haven site of Momentum Center, which is 401 North 7th Street in Grand Haven. You can either register on our website, which is momentumcentergh.org, or you can just come.
All right, just show up.
Just come, correct.
All right, excellent. Well, you know, talk about the need for something like this in communities. As we said, it's really a universal issue. I don't think it applies to just one group of people, just one community, right? And so what is the idea of how this will help Grand Haven and West Michigan overall?
Correct. Well, this is a pilot, just to be very clear. We're starting in the Tri-Cities area this year. possibly looking for also a site in Holland.
Nice.
So if anyone knows of a site, we would be delighted in Holland to share this with you. And we'd have to go through a conversation with folks. But what will happen is people will be able to find these people, sit down with them and talk. 70% of Americans feel that they do not have enough emotional support, which is an alarming statistic.
Yes, it is.
So many of us rely on social media now for our friendships and for discussions with people. And we really, since the pandemic, have not been up and out and communicating with others in the way we used to, kind of face to face.
Oh, it's changed a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're looking for ways to help people get that back. One of the things that Momentum Center is known for is making sure that people are visible and people feel connected. And this is one of our efforts to put that out into the community. So we're not just tucked away in a center somewhere, we are out in our Tri-Cities area, in Holland, in the area. Again, if this goes well, we are hoping to expand it throughout all of Ottawa County, and then we'll find out where it goes from there.
Well, I'm certainly hoping that it goes well. And I love that you mentioned that this stemmed from, in that area of Zimbabwe, them feeling like there weren't enough resources for therapy. And I was afraid earlier to call it like, well, hey, this is almost like a free therapy session. And, you are sort of getting those resources.
We want to be helpful. We also want to be able to refer people when
to even more resources that might be
to
needed.
Professional resources. If they're like, hey, I feel like I really do need to talk to somebody, but I don't know where to go, we are going to be able to refer people.
That's a fantastic resource. Many times I think people are intimidated by taking those first steps. How do I make an appointment? How do I find the right person for me? This sounds like a great first step.
Right, yeah. Friendship Bench will definitely be able to help folks make those connections.
Well, fantastic. Again, if you're wanting more information, be sure to be at that town hall happening Monday at 6 at the Momentum Center in Grand Haven. Kate, thank you so much for your time this morning. What a great project.
Thank you for having us.
We're back right after this.